This is a tale of revenge. What lengths would you go to for revenge if your spouse cheated on you? My wife, Jane, and I had been together for a solid 10 years. We had our ups and downs like everyone, but overall I thought we were pretty happy. That is, until all came crashing down a few months ago. She forgot to log out of her Facebook Messenger on the laptop. The chime went off, so I decided to check. It was a message from what looked like one of her co-workers I had met at a Christmas party, Carl. I felt my anger start to rise as I scrolled through the chat history. It was obvious they were fucking. I did my best to keep my cool and to think before I reacted. My brother had been through something like this, and he always said that if he had it to do over that, he would have been methodical and would have done something huge to bring it all down, and that he feels horrible for not having done so. I didn't want to be filled with regret. I needed to get my anger out. I wouldn't be. The only one hurt, and maybe getting revenge would actually help me heal, while also teaching her a lesson that you can't be stupid and not face some consequences. I knew I had to do something about it. I messaged his wife Sarah on Facebook and asked her to talk over the phone. I figured that she would at least want to know about her husband's infidelity, and maybe she could help me put an end to the affair. To my surprise, Sarah was oddly cool and collected about the whole thing. Maybe their relationship was already on shaky ground. She also wanted to get revenge. She was the one that came up with the plan. Her plan was to go out on a date with each other when we knew Jane and Carl would be sneaking around together. We would make sure they saw us cheating on them too. I was hesitant at first, but the idea grew on me over time. We talked often for a few days, as we both started looking for signs and potential times when they would be getting together. Eventually, Jane and Carl would be meeting up at a swanky bar at the other end of the city. My wife told me she was just going to be going out to eat with one of her friends, and then they were going to go shopping for a bit. My heart was pounding in my chest, but I played along. When she was in her car and driving away, I went into action and got ready for mine and Sarah's big night on the town. I picked up Sarah and we began to drive, talking excitedly about how this was going to go. We both also felt waves of sadness and frustration for even having to do this, but the adrenaline kept us going. When we arrived at the bar, we spotted our spouses in a cozy corner, laughing and smiling and flirting with each other. My heart was racing. We walked over to a table not be immediately noticed, but definitely viewable from their location. There we were, hand in hand, pretending that all was well. We walked to our table and sat down and ordered some drinks and an appetizer. We took turns glancing at their table until finally they noticed us. The moment they saw us was absolutely priceless. Their eyes went wide. They looked like they had just seen a ghost. I could see they were trying to process what was happening. Sarah said, "They see us, you should kiss me." For a split second, couldn't even imagine doing that. But then, a moment later, I gave in and gave Sarah passionate kiss, fueled by our mutual anger. I rubbed my eyes and peeked through my hands and could see them all in a tizzy, a mix of emotions. They must have been feeling furious, exposed, confused. The list could go on and on. Then finally, after about 15 minutes of our laughter and flirting, Carl finally mustered up the courage to come over and confront us. He stammered something about it being a huge coincidence that we were both there and demanded to know what was going on. I played it cool, acting like it was no big deal. "Oh, hey, Carl," I said, as if we were old friends. "What a surprise to see you here. Sarah and I just decided to grab a drink for the hell of it. You remember Sarah, right? She's your wife." Carl's face went crimson red, and he started to stutter even more. Jane, who had been watching the whole interaction from their table, looked horrified. I could tell she was about to cry. Before he could say anything else, Sarah chimed in. "Oh, come on, Carl. It's not like we're doing anything wrong. We're just two people having a good time, just like you and Jane." The look on their faces was absolutely priceless. They were both caught red-handed, and they knew it. Carl, clearly at a loss for words, mumbled some excuse about needing to use the restroom and then quickly disappeared. Jane, on the other hand, couldn't take it anymore. She stood up from her seat, tears streaming down her face, and stormed out of the bar. It was clear that she never expected to be on the receiving end of her own deceit. What an idiot. With our mission accomplished, Sarah and I shared a high five and a knowing glance. The satisfaction of knowing that we had successfully turned the tables on our cheating spouses was indescribable. We stayed at the bar for a while longer, finishing our drinks and getting to know each other. We actually had a lot in common and enjoyed each other's company as the night went on. Sarah and I exchanged stories about our marriages, how we had tried to make things work, and how we had each been let down by our partners. It was therapeutic to be able to share my pain with someone who understood it so deeply. When it was time to leave, I took her home, and we promised to keep in touch. We knew that there were going to be some difficult conversations and decisions ahead of us, but at least we had each other for support over the next few weeks. Both of our marriages crumbled. Jane and Carl were both extremely remorseful, but it was too little too late. Sarah and I supported each other through the process of filing for divorce and dealing with the emotional fallout that followed. In the end, our little revenge plot did more than just teach our cheating spouses a lesson. It brought two people together who were dealing with immense heartache, and it gave us the strength to move on from the past now. I'm not saying that Sarah and I are a couple or anything. It's way too early for that, but we have become really good friends, and who knows what the future might hold. But in the end, it doesn't matter if that goes any further. We have helped each other a lot during this time, and that in and of itself has been great. Final thoughts. I am not a big fan of revenge. The thought can be satisfying, but the reality is often more complicated. The time taken to devise and enact a plan to hurt the person that hurt you could be put to better use. This story is an outlier. More often than not, you end up hurting yourself in the end as well. Do you think he went too far? That's it for today.